throw?
No.
Prepare to throw.
No.
Gentlemen, what happened with that soldier throwing the grenade?
He froze up.
He froze up. If that happens in our pit NCO will reach across, make 10 points of contact with the hand grenade, sweep away the non-throwing arm, take you to a knee, and motivate you. He'll sing you a song, talk to you, tell you about whatever it is you need to hear. Once that soldier is ready to throw, he'll stand him up. We'll continue training.
Freezing up in the grenade pit is only one problem the instructors face with new recruits.
Pit NCO will sound off with throw. Gentlemen, what just happened at that point? He dropped his guide hand. He attempted to take a knee when he was throwing the hand grenade. If that happens, Pit NCO will sound off with
Grenade inside the pit.
He will then reach across, make 2 points of contact, take you outside the pit. When you land, it'll be ground, private, Pit NCO. That is to ensure that you are safe. We can cover you up at that time. If everything goes right on the range, Pit NCO will sound off with throw. Boom. Some of the best situations for the hand grenade is to use it when clearing a building. Any point where you can't see around the room, but you know there's an enemy in there. Fragmentation grenade, it's going to blow everything up in there. Thousands and thousands of pieces, literally, that's going to just rip you to shreds. This shrapnel is going to get you.
While the M67 is the most popular grenade in use, other types, like the thermite grenade, are extremely effective.
Thermite grenade is not to kill enemy soldiers, it's to kill equipment. It creates an enormous amount of chemical energy and heat, and it basically fuses the metal parts together so it cannot be used.
Another type of grenade isn't used to destroy, but to conceal.
Smoke grenades can be incredibly important when you want to advance your position. It allows you to do behind the smoke whatever you need to do without being visible to your opponent.
Sniper threats are a huge thing in Iraq and Afghanistan. If you're having sniper contact and you have to cross a danger area like a road, a stream, pop some smoke grenades. Perfect concealment for you as you're moving across the danger areas. Bro. My favorite thing about an M67 hand grenade is the fact that I can produce more casualties faster with the M67 than I can with my personal weapon. You just can't match the amount of firepower that you have with just the hand grenade.
The quest to go small isn't just about handheld firearms. One of the biggest and baddest military weapons is also going tiny. At Howe & Howe Technologies in Waterboro, Maine, brothers Mike and Jeff are building high-tech armored vehicles. And one model takes tiny to a whole new level.
You're never really going to know what it's like to be visited by the Badger until it comes crashing through your wall. I'm pretty sure you don't want that happening. No.
Created for SWAT and Special Forces, the Badger is a one-man all-terrain vehicle designed to breach buildings and other fortified positions. It's currently the smallest passenger tank on Earth.
The most unique thing about the Badger is it's super small. It's only 32 inches wide, so it can fit through a door. That was really the huge engineering challenge for us to build a tank that's smaller than a human, yet can fit a human in it.
Its small size makes the Badger incredibly mobile, and its armor plating can repel large caliber rounds. The shape of the Badger's front end is crucial to its success in the field.
The more angled this vehicle is to the person that's shooting at it, the better it's going to be at deflecting bullets. Here we have a 50 caliber armor-piercing round that just barely made it in and then ricocheted out. Here we have an AK-47. Those are very, very, very powerful rounds. Handgun round won't even mar the paint on this.
And it's not just impervious to rifle fire. The Badger can stand up to small explosives, too.
I can't really tell you the size of explosive that this thing can handle, but it put this thing 8 feet in the air and only sustained about 25 Gs on the inside, which means the guy survived.
Storming buildings uninvited is the Badger's specialty.
We've used it to punch through cinder block walls, reinforced rebar walls. In the event there's an emergency, something's going on, we don't want the Badger to have to run around and look for a door. It can literally go through a wall.
Bringing the Badger to life wasn't easy. Just cutting the armor was a massive undertaking.
One of the most difficult things with the Badger is how do you cut the material? This is so hard, you can hear it.
The answer? Water jet cutting. At 60,000 pounds per square inch of pressure, the water jet cutter can slice through hardened steel and granite.
In engineering, you never really know what you're going to end up with until it's done. And so that's why here we produce prototypes and we test and we test and we test again. And by the end of the day, if we've done a good job, we have a vehicle that is really survivable.
The mini tank doesn't end with the Badger.
Robots right now are really important for the military. We want to reduce the amount of casualties we're getting abroad and bring our soldiers home. We have today's technology, which is a human small miniature tank, to tomorrow's technology, which is a very, very small robot that can still do that mission, but remove the human right out of the hazardous environment.
Coming up, they may look like toys, but these remote-controlled planes are saving lives.
These are instrumental to the way our warfighters operate.
Get down! Put the weapon down! Land and shoulder!
And nuclear weapons go portable. Next on Modern Marvels. We now return to tiny weapons on Modern Marvels. Flying behind enemy lines to gather intelligence is risky business. So the Air Force developed a small unmanned aerial vehicle in the 1990s. The Predator. At just 27 feet long and with a wingspan of 49 feet, it's flown remotely and can stay airborne for 40 hours. Armed with 2 Hellfire missiles, this UAV delivers a punch that can destroy tanks or bust bunkers. But for today's frontline warfighter, the Predator isn't practical. Faced with an enemy that's planting IEDs or sniping from rooftops, troops now have their own smaller versions that can be carried in a backpack and launched by hand. The brains behind this new generation of UAVs is AeroVironment in Southern California.
These unmanned aircraft systems are instrumental to the way our warfighters operate. They provide critical information within a critical time frame that enables those warfighters to do what they need to do to complete their mission.
AeroVironment has 3 small UAVs in production, each with different capabilities.
If they need to keep continuous coverage over an area for an extended period of time, they might want to use a Puma system, which can fly for 2 hours.
The Puma is the largest of the 3, with an 8-foot wingspan. It weighs about 13 pounds. What also sets the Puma apart is a mechanical rotating camera that can lock on a target and maintain constant surveillance.
The airplane can fly in a straight line and can keep the camera focused on a given target, which helps them do their jobs much more effectively.
And we can clearly see he has a weapon on the ground. He has a shovel in his hand, and he appears to be digging a hole. We've gotten really good feedback from the field where soldiers have been able to get intelligence just like this.
When troops need a smaller, even more mobile UAV, they can turn to the Raven.
Raven is the most prolific unmanned aircraft in the world today. We've shipped more than 15,000 of these little airplanes to customers all over the world.
The Raven is more concealable than the Puma, but it can only stay airborne for 90 minutes. AeroVironment's smallest UAV, the Wasp, is roughly the size of a hobbyist's remote-controlled plane.
Less is definitely more for our military customers. The Wasp is the smallest unmanned aircraft system in the world today. It weighs about 1 pound. It flies for about 45 minutes. It can be packed inside of a backpack. You just throw it in the air and it flies away.
The Wasp's small size and quiet electric motor make it nearly undetectable from the ground. Tiny, stealthy, unmanned aircraft are the perfect tools for troops facing sniper fire. Once they know where the enemy is hiding, they can lower the hammer.
Get down! Put the weapon down! Land and shoulder!
Sergeant.
These are used by frontline warfighters. They have to be small. They have to be light.
These mini UAVs also have to be tough.
There have been cases where insurgents have actually hit these aircraft, put a hole in a wing, and when they bring it back, they can just take a roll of duct tape and put it on, tape it up, and send it right back out in the air.
The biggest beating can come on landing, so the UAVs are built to break apart upon impact.
Kevlar is a material that we use to ensure the strength and the lightness of these aircraft. When you see the kind of beating these take out in the field, you'll understand why we need to make sure this is very, very durable.
But the pieces don't break. The troops can actually snap them back together. AeroVironment has one more UAV in development that can deliver a blow of its own.
We've also been developing a totally new kind of a system, which is actually more like a munition than an unmanned aircraft system, and we call that the Switchblade.
The tiny Switchblade is fired from a launch tube on the ground. As the plane approaches its target, the onboard explosive is armed.
The Switchblade then flies into that target and detonates, taking out that target and removing the threat.
While the Switchblade will deliver a small, precise payload, the goal of a nuclear bomb is to unleash as much destruction as possible. During the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union raced to build ever bigger bombs and missiles, weapons capable of wiping out entire cities. But we also thought small. In the 1950s and 60s, the Soviet invasion of what was then West Germany seemed very possible. The United States wanted a weapon that could stop the Soviets cold. So they created miniature nuclear bombs.
The United States military in the 1950s actually developed an atomic recoilless rifle, kind of like an atomic bazooka. It was nicknamed the Davy Crockett.
When you start to miniaturize atomic weapons, they become tactical. They can actually be used for the first time on the battlefield, and that completely changes the equation.
The Davy Crockett carried the lightest nuclear warhead on record, the W-54. At 11 inches in diameter and weighing 51 pounds, the W-54 was small and light enough to be carried by one man.
Had a tripod, you could download it or actually fire it from the Jeep itself.
The Davy Crockett's range was about 2 miles. And so, depending on the power of the warhead and the direction of the wind, the operating team could be in danger.
With the more powerful explosive heads that were used on the Davy Crockett, there's actually a possibility that the range of the kill zone is greater than the effective range of the weapon, making it a weapon of last resort.
The Davy Crockett was tested several times, but never used in combat. Eventually, the weapon was stockpiled and then decommissioned in 1971.